heat wave is over. Good morning, friends. It's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm. 9 days of over 100-degree temperatures. We are finally out of this heat wave. It's going to get warm today, like 85 degrees Fahrenheit, but that is a huge difference. That's 15 degrees or so cooler than it has been. So really happy about that. I'm heading out to the farm. Mike is already there. We ended up renting a really high power tiller because the old beat up green one that I have is basically at this point becoming a farm ornament. It needs some major work to make it even function, even start. So we just decided to rent, and so he's starting that process now. I'm going to go start by cleaning up those other two beds, and then we'll see how far we can get today. It's a cooler day, and Aiden is in school today until 3 p.m., so we have a lot of time. I do have a migraine today, so I'm working with that, struggling with it. It's not a real bad one. It's just affecting the right side of my head, so my eye is a little messed up, and there's some pain, but hoping my medication will kick in. Really would like to get this done. I did check on when my ranunculus and tulip bulbs are going to arrive. I screwed up. I selected the wrong ship date. They're not going to get here. They're not shipping until the 28th of October. That is like 3 weeks later than I usually ask for the ship date. So it's going to be fine. The tulips, our ground never freezes. The tulips can go into the ground whenever. I've got, I'll have the raised bed prepared for them and all that, so we'll be fine. And the ranunculus, I'll still pre-sprout them. They'll be fine. They'll still bloom in the spring. They just won't get as advanced root systems as I would like before winter, but it's fine. Again, our ground never freezes. We do get frosts, but it's never enough that they need protection, so it'll be fine. But that kind of bums me out because I was really hoping to get all the planting done so that I could go into November and just be like, hey, I'm done for the season. But, whatever. It is what it is. Okay, let's head out to the farm and we'll get started. So it's the next morning, and we're not working today because we are leaving early tomorrow morning to go to New York for family wedding. So today is all about prep and packing and all that stuff. But I did want to come out here and show you, explain what you saw in that video, what we did. So Mike was able to use the tiller to dig down. It definitely sped up the process for sure. Dig down in these 5 beds, and you can see I've almost filled that one over there. But because the ground is so sloped here, I'm still going to have to, in this bed particularly, cut aside, because as you can see, there's a ridge on this side, but there's nothing here. So we're still going to have to hand dig down here, which is a bummer. But it is what it is, because this already here is sitting quite high above the surrounding soil. And while that's great for keeping the rodents out, it also means that we could have a lot of soil washed out in a heavy rain event. It will just go through, like a sieve. So I want to avoid that here since I'm not buying wood to build a raised bed. And yesterday, that rental was $200, so I don't really want to spend more money. So I'm just going to come in next week when we get back and I'll cut out this bed and then we can fill it. I'm going to get a combo of compost and it's not really topsoil, but it's like planting soil from the place that I usually get it. That way they can come with a dump truck and I can use that as a mix everywhere that I need it. So these other 2 beds I still need to scoop out, and that soil will go into these beds as we leapfrog across. So again, it will be 1 bed on the end that will need the topsoil and compost combo. In pretty good shape. I mean, the beds that we've already prepared, the 5 that we've already prepared, are ready for the most part, except for the one that I need to fill for planting. I mean, I need to put some amendments on top, flatten out the bed tops, add the compost, and then mostly what I need to do is irrigate them deeply because they're too chunky to plant in right now. But the seedlings can go in there and I won't need as much of this space. We'll have this 1 bed prepared. So it's not like I'm running short of beds because like I said, some of the seedlings, like I have a whole tray of Orlea and only 7 of them germinated, which is very weird. I'm thinking maybe that there was a problem with the seed, but that's okay. I don't really care. Those plants produce a lot. And I'm going to direct sow some other stuff, some other Orlea in its place. So basically I'll be combining some things. We'll have mixed beds for some beds. Other beds will be completely like ranunculus or completely snapdragons or whatever. So it's good. It's all going to be okay. And I got an email from Burby this morning that the ship date for everything that I thought I had put down as 10/28 is actually 10/16. So that's really good. That means I can get the ranunculus in the ground a lot sooner than November 1st. So yeah, that makes me happy. So next week they'll be arriving. And I still have a box of ranunculus corms from last year that I never planted. I didn't pre-sprout them either. So I don't know if they're still viable, but I'm going to try to pre-sprout them anyway because I have nothing to lose. And if they're still viable, then I've got a whole bunch of extra ranunculus to put in, probably about 200 of them. I don't know what the varieties are, so I'll just be a mixed variety bed. So those will mostly go for CSA customers because otherwise I need to have them labeled to go to the wholesalers. So yeah, so that's where we stand. I'll have enough compost and stuff delivered next week to fill the 8x4 raised bed and the 4x6 one down where the tulips are going to go. I'm also going to, clean out this dahlia bed, save the tubers, line it with the cloth, and rebuild it and fill it with new soil. And I'm going to do the same thing here. This is all sweet peas. I'm actually not going to line it, but I am going to add a whole lot more soil. So these, I intentionally let dry, and all of the seeds are in the ground, and so we'll have a nice crop of sweet peas. I'll probably still plant some more, but on this trellis come the spring, and they'll come up sooner than normal because they will already be in the ground overwintered. And the mums that survived gopher attack are looking lovely. However, their stems are super short. So as you can see here, we've got a few that have taller stems, but I mean, for the most part, these are too short for wholesale, and that's okay. I've kind of written them off. This is mostly just a crop loss for this year. But it's really making me think, I don't know that I'm going to plant this field next year. A lot of it stays in the shade for much of the day. Now it is October, and so this is going to be shaded because the sun is low. But yeah, I might just focus, depending on how much space I need, I might just focus on those 10 beds and the dahlia bed and this up here, and I'll build another raised bed to go right there as well. So we'll see. If I planted anything here at all, it was going to be a second spring succession or just summer. So maybe this will just be a sunflower bed. I don't know. That would be great, actually. But the sunflowers are going to need protection as well, because the first crop that I put in the spring did great. I got a whole row of sunflowers there. Those were transplants, but then everything I tried to transplant after that got eaten before it even got like 3 inches tall. So I'm going to have to come up with a plan for sunflowers there as well. Maybe more lining of beds, which I really don't want to do, but we'll just have to see. But I don't have to tackle that. I can do that over the winter on days when it's not raining. So yeah, it'll be good to have projects to work on out here while everything is lying dormant and awaiting a beautiful spring crop, which I really hope will happen after all this work that we put into this. But I feel good about it. And Mike also tilled this area here for me, mostly just to get rid of the weeds and stuff and loosen up the soil. We're gonna do a whole strip of wildflowers along there. And again, that is an area that I don't care if the gophers go crazy in, because they're not for cuts. It's strictly for pollinator habitat. And if some gophers want to live in there, or mice and rats and stuff, that's fine with me too, because as long as all the stuff that I'm growing for money is protected and growing well, then that's kind of all I care about. All right, guys, that was a short video for today. So thanks for hanging out. I need to get home so I can start doing laundry and packing and getting stuff ready for this trip. But I will see you next week. Maybe I'll post a couple of shorts while we're gone. I am looking forward to being in New York in October, not the city. We're going to be in Binghamton. That's where the bride and groom live. And the fall color is beautiful there right now. So I'm looking forward to that, because we don't get our fall color here. We don't have very much. We don't get our fall color here until like November. So I'm looking forward to having cool temperatures. It'll be nice and cool. It's not hot now here. We're out of the heat wave, but it'll be much colder there, which I'm looking forward to. It's just gonna be nice, feel more like fall. All right, thanks so much for hanging out. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden and you enjoy your upcoming weekend, and sending my love and good wishes to everybody who made it through Milton. I'm so glad that my parents evacuated. The number of tornadoes was kind of astonishing. I've been through a number of tornadoes myself, having lived in Florida for most of my childhood, and then living in Southern Illinois for my doctoral work. So lots of tornado experience. Never fun. So let's just hope that people can now recover and we don't get any more storms. All right, sending love out to everybody. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.